Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar. To everyone that's watching us live right now, we're just gonna wait a few seconds to actually begin for anyone else that's coming on. Today, our spotlight is going to be from Merrick Prep School, so get ready for that information. To those of you watching live, know that you can ask questions in any given moment and we'll go over those at the end. And if you can't stay for the entire webinar, don't worry. This will be recorded and uploaded later on, so you'll be able to watch it outside of this time, so don't worry about that. So, about to get started in a few seconds. Just wait a few seconds, and perfect. So I want to welcome today Joanna from Merrick Prep School. Hey,
Thanks
Joanna.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome to have you. So let's talk about Merrick Prep.
That's what we're here for.
Let's imagine that I'm a student. Let's play it out this way. Let's imagine that I'm a student and I'm asking specific questions. In this case, I live in Mexico, so let's play it out. What would be the key points you would say to a student that's thinking about going to prep? Like, why go to prep, to Merrick Prep?
Okay. Well, we're a small boarding school outside of Ottawa, and we've welcomed quite a few Mexicans over the years. Most of the Mexicans come for the experience, so a semester a year. Some of them finish high school with us, but rather fewer than the majority. And they can come for a semester, so it's their choice to start either in September or in February. And they choose us because they're looking for a small multicultural environment, safe place, especially for the parents. That's a big factor. They want their kids in a safe, nurturing environment, and they want to sleep at night. So I think we can provide that for the parents because we're very close with the parents, with the students until they come. When they're on campus, we continue the communication with the parents so that they always know how their kids are, which is very important. We're in a small town that is outside of Ottawa, and so the kids can leave without any safety issues campus and go downtown, which basically the school is downtown, so they can go for an ice cream or a coffee, and that kind of environment they really enjoy. And I think our Mexican students specifically, they love that multicultural environment. So Merrick is, for me, one of the most diverse schools I've ever seen in the boarding school world because we don't have a dominant market. Like, we don't have 10 students from one country and then one from another, or 20 from one country. So the average per country is 2 to 3. We have a few that have 4 or 5, but it rotates through, and they come from a lot of different markets. So since 2012, we have welcomed about 33 different countries to the school, and we're continuing to add new ones to it, which we're working really hard on. And so can you imagine being a Mexican student in a history class and being surrounded by 8 other students, and they all come from different markets and countries and cultures. And so the discussion is not only academically, but culturally. And that's something that students just really enjoy. I mean, Mexican students are so social, right? I mean, they love being surrounded by people their age. So that's something they enjoy. And I think one of the things that students generally love is the small class sizes. We have 10, by average, 10 students in a classroom. So suddenly you're important to the teacher. They're going to help you with everything you need. You improve your academic marks, you improve your English. I mean, that's something to choose, right? I hope that.
So I would imagine it's very down to detail per student. So you won't get lost being like student number 30 or student number 20. So it's a smaller class, more attention to that. And a more familiar feeling, like, this is what I'm understanding. So it's more of a community between the students and the parents and the teachers, right?
Yeah. It's really a family. Like, I always joke when a Mexican family applies, it's like a big Mexican family, like the aunts, the tias and the tios, and the grandma and the granny. And, you know, I mean, it's just it's very personalized. So yes, when you come from Mexico City and you come to small Merrick, well, it is a challenge because it's so different from what you're used to, but you really get to know your classmates, you really get to know the teachers, and the other way around as well, right? So we can really help these kids excel and really have a wonderful experience, and they go home and have friends from all around the world with a very good academic stand, and all of our programs are validated in Mexico and all around the world because the Ontario Secondary School Diploma is recognized all around the world. So it's really a family, and I have had the luck to speak to some of our alums lately, and they really say they miss this community, this eating together, having fun together, knowing each other, knowing that everybody watches out for you. It's a real cool feeling.
I've actually, witnessed that happen firsthand, not particularly with me, but I've seen people that came, to the high school here in Cancun from Switzerland, from Denmark, or from Germany, or from the States, and they're still friends. Like, they'll still talk to each other. Like, you talk to one, they're still, keeping up, and it's been, I don't want to say how many years, but it's been a while. And they do, create lifelong relationships and bonds. And not only can it be, social and friendship, but they also, you never know, you might create a business and along the line say, hey, I have someone in this other part of the country, let's work together. So that's pretty cool as well. What other stuff can you do on campus, for example, like clubs, sports, what other activities can be done apart from the academic?
So one of the things that boarding schools do really well in general is that they provide a variety of after-school activities. So at our school, because we're smaller, I always say this is your chance to really try new things. You can do music, you can do arts, sports. Of course, Canadians are really into sports. If you want to be active, you have all the chances at Merrick to be active. If you wanted to go into competitive sports, we might not be the best choice for you. We have soccer and basketball competitive, but we don't have ice hockey competitive or stuff. But you can learn how to skate. You can play ice hockey in the winter because one of our teachers is really into that. Our head of school is really into outdoor activities. So they go hiking, we go whitewater rafting. So lots of stuff that you might not have had a chance to do back home. So our kids, if they want to, can be very, very active. And on the weekends, we try to really offer things that are relaxing because the kids need some time off to just, be with their friends, hang out. I mean, that's what you do as a teenager, but also to explore the location that we're at. Like, we're 30 minutes outside of Ottawa. We're 2 hours from Montreal. We're 3 hours from Toronto. So, I mean, we really take advantage of that location. We're only an hour from Kingston. So there's lots to do. Like, they go, hiking was one of them, but rock climbing, they go bowling, they go for movies or go to the festivals in Ottawa. I mean, there's lots of things to do. It really depends on the student, and we offer it and they have to take it.
Okay, so that's extremely diverse. That's actually pretty cool. Just one quick question that I think many students have in general. What does it mean to be a boarding school? So what's the day, a regular day? You wake up, you're at the school, but to make that distinction, because I think sometimes students think, oh, I'm going to live at the school. It's all the day studying, it's all the day classes. So it's pretty sure it's not like that. So if you can, elaborate a bit.
So I think I always have that conversation with the parents when they think about sending their kids abroad and, they're going to be all by themselves and lonely. And I said, think about your son or your daughter. Do they really want to hang out with you when they're 15, 16? They want to hang out with their friends. So now you're giving them a platform where they can hang out with their peers every single day from morning till night. Isn't that fantastic? And they're like, oh, I've never thought of this. I said, the relationship to you as parents gets so much stronger because suddenly they have to tell you so many new things. This is pretty cool. So our school is small. As I mentioned before, we have only space for 60 boarders and 20 local students that go home in the evenings and come back in the mornings. And they have 2 kids per room. So these 2 boarders come from different markets, different languages. So first of all, you have a roommate that shares that space with you that you're going to become friends with because you're with him all the time, right? Yeah, these rooms are really, really big. So you have your privacy, you have your space where you can just, pull back and have your own time. But then there's all these social areas where we hang out. So a typical day at a boarding school starts usually at our school. You get up around 7, have a shower in your own private bathroom. Then you go out, say hi to your friends, go downstairs, have a wonderful breakfast. It's a buffet. You choose from whatever you want. You sit with your friends, you hang out. And then classes start at 8:30 in the morning. We have 2 periods in the morning, and then we have lunch. Everybody gets together for lunch because we're so small. The staff joins in as well, so you hang out with your staff as well. And then you have the afternoon periods, classes. We have also a period that's called MSIT. MSIT is a period where students really focus on study skills and applications to universities and things that they want to improve. Sometimes they work on their homework. Sometimes they meet with a teacher to catch up on something. So that's an hour a day where they really focus on their learning and their individual needs. And then after school at 3:45, that's something that I really love, is the whole school gets together and has a cup of tea and coffee. So even the admissions people that usually would bring the kids in and then you don't see them much because they have to recruit the next round. We actually have made it mandatory for us, and we love it. We come downstairs, we check in with our kids. So when kids sign up with me for the school, I will be at their side till they leave and longer, because then you have a relationship with them and you want to know how they do and where they end up and how things are going, right? So at 3:45, that's what happens. And then we have clubs and activities. Once a week, there's an IELTS preparation where kids prepare for their English exams when they go to university. There's sports, there's music, there's arts, and then they have dinner at 5:30, which is early for Mexicans. But there's always snacks around and a fridge where they can go to, like at home, and get the food that's in there. And then we have study hall Sunday through Thursdays. That's where they are in their own room. They keep their doors open, but they focus on their studies. And this is something that they learn for university, independent learning, which nobody will stand behind you and say, you have to do this. But if you have never learned this, how do you do this? So we give them that transition period from the home, cared, protected, to university where they want to go to and be independent. Yeah. And then they have free time till like 11 and hang out with their friends and go down and work out in the workout room or play pool or, whatever they feel up to, or watch a movie. So I think boarding school life is really interactive. It's fun. You can choose to hang out with your friends. You can also be on your own. It's a real nice combination, especially when you're a teenager and you don't really want to hang out with the adults. It's a great environment, but very structured and safe and supervised. And there's always someone there that if you need something to help out with. And that's why kids love coming to boarding schools.
Okay. Actually, I was gonna ask a bit of something you just mentioned. That's what would be like a key factor that you think highlights students or parents mostly, wanting to actually send their students to boarding school, like their kids to boarding school, because like what you were saying, they become more responsible, they're prepped for actual adult life, but they're not really aware of that. But once they're out, they're ready for it, and it's not that big of a shock when they go to
Right. I think the difference, I always get asked about public schools and families or private schools and boarding. What's the difference? Why would I do this? If you have the financial means to do a boarding school, do it. Because you get everything served on a plate. You can choose and pick what you want. You're not in charge yourself. When you're in a homestay, and I'm a homestay, I offer my home to 2 kids every year as well. And they have to organize their after school activities themselves. They have to hop in a cab and see their friends. The homestays don't always drive them. But at the boarding school, you have that all in one place. And you know what you're getting. These families know that the kids are safe. They know where they are. The parents can call and say, where's my son? Well, he's there and there and there. So they know that they're supervised, they're safe, they're secured, and that's one of the things. And the high quality of education that you get at boarding schools. I mean, a lot of the schools have slowed down since the pandemic hit or don't deliver the full curriculum. And now with boarding schools like ours, we have a very robust, synchronized live learning platform where kids are in class every single day. They're interacting with their friends from all around the world. So they have everything they need from home, but they didn't miss one day of class. So this is something that I think is absolutely worth the financial investment, because you know that when your kid graduates, no matter if it's in a pandemic or not, they will get into university, they will be prepared, ready to go, and they will have scholarships to go to universities. That's another big part that prepares them when you're at private schools.
Okay. So usually some schools do have like a tendency to say a preference of students. Like, let's say I would want a student that's more academic. I would want a student that's a bit more inclined to sports. You'd be completely more focused to students that are academic based.
Well, I would say I think Merrick is a school that can adjust to and help every student that comes our way. That is like, I think I'm looking for students that are motivated to study abroad, that want to do well. If they struggle a bit, we have the capacity and the means to help. If you want to be challenged, we have that too. If you want to improve your English, all our teachers are ESL teachers. If you want to get into universities, all of our teachers are guidance counselors. So it's not a specific type of student. I think it's the student that is open-minded, that wants to be in a multicultural environment, that is ready to be active. And then the rest comes with it, with all the support that we can offer.
Okay, good. Okay, that's actually pretty good. What's like the average cost of year for an international student? To get like the idea.
Okay, so for grade 9 and 10, a full year is 56,200 Canadian dollars. And for grade 11 and 12 in our university qualifying year, it's 58,200. That includes custodianship, health insurance, meals, accommodations, school books, part of the uniform, part of the activities. So most of the things that you will have to pay for is covered in these costs. And I always say to the parents, if you need a payment plan, please reach out to me. We're happy to arrange that. I always get asked about scholarships. We have a few small scholarships, depends on when people apply. If we do not have full scholarship, we don't have 50% scholarships, but we do have discounts that we can talk about and then arrange payment plans for the students that need it.
What do those scholarships depend on? Is it based on the student or more like on the...
Well, I think we make the decision, like I speak to the parents and the kids on an individual basis. They say, well, if we had a discount of like, let's say $5,000, that would really help us. And then the payment plan. And then we just say, you know, you need to have a full application. And the commitment of the student is to give back to the school if they receive a scholarship in form of testimonials, in form of talking to friends about us, in form of being an ambassador for the school. It's not a big thing, but that's the only thing that we hook to the scholarships. But otherwise, anyone can apply for it. And it's the same application process as the other students. It's just, I think we look a little bit more thoroughly and we want to give it to students that otherwise wouldn't be able to doing so. And we also want to bring the diversity. So if it's a new market for us, there's a good chance that we would sponsor the first student a little bit to come and join us and then be our ambassador in that market.
Well, what would be a new market for you guys? Because you say you cover like 33 nationalities, so which one wouldn't be that?
So I can tell you that I'm currently working on Peru. We're working on Colombia. We have had students from Mexico. We had students from Brazil. We work on a lot of Latin American markets that are smaller. Chile would be a nice market to have. I work also with the Middle East. I work for Europe. So we just got a student from France that signed up. So we're adding new markets to that portfolio. If someone wants to know all the markets that we have had, I'm happy to provide you with a list and ship that and send that to you.
Okay, perfect. So to all students watching, if you're from those countries, you already know what we're talking about. So final stuff to go about. Any other points you like to highlight in general? Like something you say you cannot miss this out. This is something that is super interesting, super cool. Students love it, or maybe positive feedback you've gotten from certain students at any given time.
Okay, so there's two things I would like to mention. So the plan, like with this pandemic, I think it's important to mention this. We're in an area that is very rural. Since the starting of the pandemic, we had very few cases, and we continue to being like this. If you want to have more details, I'm happy to provide that. So that's one of the reasons families will choose us, because they know that they're in a safe, secure health environment as well. Everything is in place for students to come back on campus in September. If you choose to not start right away on campus, we have a synchronous live stream program that you can learn more about. Please reach out to Alex or myself. I'm very happy to tell you more about that. It's half the price of the boarding school fees. It gives you the same validation. It is the same report card that students receive on the campus without having to need a study permit. So for markets that struggle maybe with study permits, that could be a good way to get your Canadian education on high school level. And I just encourage you students, boarding school is an amazing experience. Check it out. If you are interested, just send me a text on WhatsApp or an email. I'm very happy to talk with you and your parents to find a way to do this. It is a wonderful experience. I myself did an exchange when I was 15, and it opened me all the doors for my future, and that's why I live now in Canada. So it's a beautiful country, very welcoming, very open-minded, very ready to help you immigrate as well through education. It's one of the best ways to get into Canada and live here long term. So let's start at your education at Merrick, and we'll help you take the next step.
So many great tips overall. I think everyone should have taken quite a bit of note. Now everyone watching knows exactly who you're going to be talking to if you start applying to Merrick. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show everyone that's watching right now how to find Merrick Preparatory School on applywave, okay? So we're gonna start that in a second. And here we go. So I am right now, as everyone is watching, on applywave.com. I'm already at the profile, but I'm gonna walk you through this so everyone knows how to find the school. I'm already logged in as if I were a student. So it's quite simple. Log in, create a profile with your basic data or with Facebook. It can also be done that way. Click high school, and all you have to do is write Merrick. It'll fill out right there. Click search, and it'll take you directly to the school's page. Now, all you will have to do is click read more, as you'll see in a second, and then you'll actually see the complete profile of the school. As you'll see here, a good description of the school. Now you know a lot more after watching this. So if you have any questions, though, feel free to ask. There's always support available to you. A few pictures and galleries so you get a bit of more of a feel. And as you can see, Joanna was not lying. There's a huge, diverse amount of students here, probably from more than 20 countries that we can see. Beautiful setup of the town, and of course, a few videos. I'm gonna share and come back. So, any final comments?
No, I look forward to seeing your inquiries coming to us, talking with us. It's wonderful to apply through. Everything is on there you need, and we look forward to receiving the first applications to the school.
Well, thank you for your time today and for that wonderful explanation. Again, I hope everyone took a few notes, learned a few new things, and we hope to see you looking out for Merrick Prep.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.